Hi. This presentation is going to talk about the functional components of Select Server. You can see them here in this PDF document, and this document can be also found on Bentley B communities. Here is the link. So you can find it online as well. So a couple of words about what components Select Server consists of. The main component is the Bentley Select Server application under Microsoft Internet Information Services, the green one. This component is most important. It's actually responsible for serving the licenses to the users. It's also responsible for the Select Server administration side. So if you, let's say, if you stop the Select Server application pool under IIS, the users will not get the licenses, and you will not be able to open the administration side of Select Server. The other component is Select Server Service. The full name is Bentley Select Server Service, and it can be found in the administration side of Select Server, and as well in the standard Windows services applet. This service is responsible for the automatic Select Server maintenance tasks like usage log transmittal or license update if there is some change in the license on Bentley side. But it's not directly responsible for serving licenses. So you can even stop this service on Select Server machine, and you will still be able to open administration side, and the users will get licenses. The third component in orange here is the Select Server Gateway service. It's optional, as you see. It's only needed if you are going to use the pre-XM applications, the legacy applications, like we call them. In terms of the version numbers, it's 8.5 and lower numbers. So a little bit more information on that. This other scheme shows how those three different Select Server components connect to Bentley over Internet and connect to the Select Server database. Regarding the database, it can be installed on the same machine as Select Server using the MS SQL installation supplied together with Select Server installation. It can also be on a separate machine. On an existing MS SQL server that you have in your company. It's up to you how you want to configure the database. But anyway, the Select Server application in IIS needs to see the database, because all the data is stored there. If the BSS application cannot talk to the database, it will not display you the administration side, and of course the users won't get any licenses from such Select Server. Select Server Service also all the time needs the database. It will not simply start if it cannot connect to the database. But they do it on their own. I mean, they are like a separate components, and they do not correlate. They connect to the database on their own. The same for internet connection. It also, like that, Select Server application in IIS needs to talk to Bentley over Internet, and this is needed for such procedures like request update license in the administration side, when you want to synchronize your license renew or synchronize license from Bentley to your Select Server. Now, Select Server Service needs to talk to Bentley by default every midnight. The default time is midnight, and it's done every 24 hours when the Select Server Service sends the usage logs to Bentley and also checks for the changes in licenses. Again, those two actions, select server application in IIS accessing Bentley and select server service accessing Bentley, they are completely independent. Now the third component, select server gateway, in this case, in case of deployed select server, doesn't need either the database or doesn't need to talk to Bentley, because it's paired with the Bentley Select Server application in IIS, and it just gets the licenses for those older Bentley applications from the same machine, usually from the BSS application in IIS. If we talk about hosted Select Server, then we only have Select Server Gateway service. In this case, of course, it needs to talk to Bentley. No need for the database, of course. So that's about all the theory. Now I want to show in a real-world example. Just want to demonstrate how those connectivity types and needs for select server components. So I will now switch the screen to the server. That's a working select server, and now I will show you this Bentley Select Server service is configured to run as administrator of this server. This is not default configuration. Default is local system, but I did it on purpose because I wanted to forbid the connectivity from the select server service. So I configured it to run as administrator user, and in Internet Explorer, now I'm logged in as that administrator user. You can see that I configured a non-existing proxy server, so administrator user cannot use internet connection. Now, to demonstrate that, I'm going to go to Manage Services. So here you can see that the data update service, one of the tasks that Bentley Select Server service runs, already failed. But I will again run it. Here it will take about 1 minute for it to fail. In the meantime, I'm going to I'll open another instance of Select Server administration site like this. And now to show you request update license, which, as I said, is done not by the Bentley Select Server service, but by the IIS application in IIS. So disabling this for it to be quick and pressing OK here. Now the Bentley IIS, Bentley Select Server IIS application is running without any additional configuration. It's a default configuration, so it's running as local system. And local system has connectivity, which you can see now from this message. This means that the request update worked. It saw that Bentley doesn't have any changes in this select server license. So this shows us that IIS application has internet connectivity, but if we go back here and refresh it, we can see that data update service, one of the tasks that is run by the Bentley Select Server service, failed. And the time is 3:27. Yeah, that's about the same time we have on this server. So data update service didn't work because Bentley Select Server service doesn't have connectivity. Now this is a situation when part of Select Server is seeing Bentley and the other part is not seeing Bentley. In this particular case, the part that is not seeing Bentley is the service, and it's the most important part. Of course, in this case, this select server will not be sending usage logs to Bentley, and it will get blocked in 1 month, in 30 days. Okay, so just one last example about the database connectivity. As I said, both select service and the IIS application of select server need connection to the database. I will now break that connection for select server IIS application by setting the application pool of select server to run as network service. Done that. Stop and start. Okay, and why it breaks it? Because in the database setup, I use Windows NT integrated security for select server to connect to the database. So when it was configured to run as local system, it had access to the database, because local system is in the administrators group, and by default MS SQL that is running as well on the same machine, it gives access to the local system. But the network service is not belonging to that group, so it doesn't have access to the database. Now I will show how that will look like if we refresh the administration side. You'll see this error. So this error just means, it says cannot find table 0, but it means IIS application cannot, select server application, IIS application cannot talk to the database, cannot see the database. So in this case, we don't have the select server administration side, and also the users, of course, will not get any license. But at the same time, we still have the service having access to the database, and I will see that I will show that by restarting it. Because when this service doesn't see the database, it's not able to start. It will give an error and will not start. And you see it's starting fine. So as it's running, as it's configured to run as administrator user, which also has local MS SQL access, it can use the database and it can start. So again, a situation when one select server component can connect to the database and the other one cannot. So that's pretty everything I wanted to explain on this topic.